Beloved chosen one, heaven holds its breath. Right now, all creation leans in to watch what you will do next. The winds still, the angels pause, and the very air carries divine anticipation. You have come so far through pain and fire and silence, and this moment, this heartbeat is the hinge of your destiny. Listen closely, for you are not here by accident. You were sent. Every storm you've endured was preparation. Every betrayal, every sleepless night, every unanswered prayer, none of it was wasted. You were being refined in secret while the world thought you were forgotten. But heaven never lost sight of you. You are the one who carries light where others carry fear. You are the one who walks through shadows and still looks toward the dawn. You are not ordinary. And this battle you've been fighting has never been ordinary either. You feel it, don't you? The atmosphere shifting, the heaviness starting to lift. The enemy fought so hard because he knew what was coming, your awakening. You are moments away from the finish line. And even though you've been crawling bruised and saouillon and breathless, you are about to rise. Victory is not distant anymore, it's breathing against your skin. Heaven whispers your name with honor. Your scars are no longer symbols of defeat, but evidence of endurance. Every tear has been counted, every sigh recorded in the archives of heaven. You thought your story was fading into silence, but heaven was only writing the next chapter. You have not been forgotten, you have been prepared. Chosen one, lift your head. The night is nearly over, the sun of victory is rising, and its first rays are finding you. Do not let fear speak louder than faith. Do not let exhaustion convince you to surrender. You are closer than you've ever been, and heaven's eyes are on you. As the prophet wrote in the scroll of Habakkuk, chapter 3, verse 19. The sovereign Lord is my strength. He makes my feet like the feet of a deer. He enables me to tread on the heights. You've been climbing unseen mountains, terrain that broke others but refined you. That's why your steps have felt so heavy. You've been ascending, not wandering. Each hardship was elevation disguised as opposition. You didn't lose time. You gained strength. God has been teaching you the rhythm of resilience, the language of trust. You've learned to pray when you had no words, to hope when all evidence said not to. That kind of faith terrifies darkness, because it cannot be shaken. You have become a living prophecy of persistence. So hear this clearly, the end of this battle does not mean the end of your purpose. It means the unveiling of it. You're not being released from war just to rest, you're being crowned to reign. The authority you've gained in the hidden place will soon be visible. The anointing that grew in silence will soon roar. Right now, heaven is aligning divine timing in your favor. You will see justice for every wrong, restoration for every loss, and peace for every storm. Stay alert. The shift begins quietly. Doors you once begged to open will swing wide without a knock. Hearts that rejected you will suddenly recognize your worth. And the very ground that trembled beneath you will become the platform that carries your voice. You are nearing the end, but not in exhaustion and transformation. This isn't collapse, it's completion. You are stepping out of the fire, not burned, but blazing. You are no longer the one who pleads for mercy. You are the one who carries authority. Heaven's fingerprints are all over your journey. Every delay was divine choreography. Every detour a lesson in destiny. Now, chosen one, take this moment and breathe. Let gratitude rise like incense. You survived what was designed to break you, and you did not lose your faith. That makes you dangerous to darkness. You are proof that faith still works, that prayer still moves mountains, that God still chooses ordinary people for extraordinary purposes. So here is your call to action, not just for you, but for others who are still in their battles. Share this message. Like it so it spreads further. Comment so the algorithm doesn't bury the light. Subscribe if you haven't yet. Because these words are not entertainment, they are assignment. Someone else needs to hear what you've just felt, and you are the bridge heaven will use. If this resonates in your spirit, write one prophetic number in the comments below, 77, as a declaration that victory is within reach, that you are not quitting here. Type it with faith. Type it as a witness. Type it as a sign to heaven that you are still standing. Because you are chosen one, you are still standing. And all of heaven is still holding its breath, waiting to see you rise. The weight you've carried has not gone unseen. Chosen one. It pressed upon your shoulders like invisible armor, heavy yet holy. Every burden, every heartbreak, every unanswered question has shaped the vessel you have become. You have walked through valleys most would have collapsed in. Yet here you stand still breathing, still believing. You have mistaken your exhaustion for weakness, but it is proof of endurance. The weight was never meant to destroy you. It was meant to reveal your strength. There were nights when you looked at the ceiling and whispered, "Why me?" You didn't understand why your path seemed harder, why others found ease while you wrestled with pain. But heaven knew that ordinary roads could never lead an extraordinary soul to divine destiny. You were chosen for the narrow path because the crown you carry is not common. Every tear you shed watered the seeds of purpose hidden within you. You thought the breaking was punishment, but it was transformation. Beloved, remember, gold does not fear fire. Diamonds do not dread pressure. The anointing you carry could only emerge through resistance. You were being strengthened for the assignment others could not bear. The isolation you felt was divine protection, not rejection. God pulled you away from distraction so he could whisper your true name in secret. There were seasons when the silence from heaven wounded you deeply. You prayed and heard nothing. You sought signs and found none. Yet, those were the moments heaven trusted you most, because faith without evidence is the purest kind. When you chose to stand even in silence, the spiritual realm trembled. That quiet endurance shouted louder than 1,000 prayers. Now look back. Do you see how far you've come? You thought you were standing still, but your spirit was ascending. You thought you were losing, but you were learning how to fight. Each disappointment stripped away illusions, teaching you to depend not on people, but on the voice that speaks in stillness. You learned that peace is not the absence of storms, it is the presence of God in the middle of one. The apostle reminds us in his letter to the Corinthians, chapter 4, verse 17. For our light and momentary troubles are achieving for us an eternal glory that far outweighs them all. Those words are not poetic comfort, they are spiritual fact. The weight of glory waiting for you outweighs every pain you've endured. What felt unbearable was actually preparing your shoulders to carry greater blessing. You were not meant to crumble under pressure. You were meant to be strengthened by it. The very heaviness that made you cry out was building capacity inside you. You see, God never wastes pain. He repurposes it. Every delay you hated became a chapter in your testimony. Every betrayal that broke you became proof that His presence was your refuge. Every moment of exhaustion was an invitation to deeper dependence. The weight did not come to bury you, it came to anchor you, so that when the storm passed, you would remain unshaken. Chosen one, understand this, your endurance is sacred. The heavens measure time differently. What felt like years of waiting was only the gestation of a promise. Like a seed under soil, Your purpose needed darkness to take root. The pain you carried was the sign that something divine was forming within you. And now, the ground is beginning to shift. The breaking you experienced will soon become the birthing you rejoice over. You may not feel light yet, but look closer, the heaviness has already begun to lift. You are stronger than you've ever been, wiser than you realize, and closer than you think. Every scar has a purpose, every wound a lesson. The weight you carried was not a curse, it was a calling disguised as burden. It made you compassionate, discerning, and bold. It stripped you of pride and clothed you with humility. It taught you the strength of surrender. When others mocked your persistence, heaven applauded it. When you kept walking with tears in your eyes, the angels marked that moment as worship. You didn't need to shout to be seen. Your endurance spoke loud enough. You became a living sermon of grace under pressure. Now, as this chapter of heaviness draws to a close, you will begin to see the reason for it all. You will understand why certain doors closed, why certain people left, why certain seasons hurt. The divine pattern will emerge, and you will realize that the weight was never random, it was redemptive. You carried it well, chosen one. Even when you thought you were breaking, heaven saw you building. Even when your hands trembled, your spirit stayed firm. The Lord who saw you cry in silence is the same one who will now lift you in honor. Nothing you carried was in vain. You are almost through this valley, and the mountaintop is in sight. Keep walking, not because it's easy, but because you were born to finish. Heaven's record of your endurance is already sealed. Soon, the very weight that once crushed you will become the testimony that crowns you. When darkness fought hardest, that you almost forgot who you were. You thought the attacks meant you were losing, but they were proof that the enemy was terrified of your potential. The resistance was never random. It was revelation. Hell does not waste energy on the unthreatening. Every spiritual assault you faced was a signpost declaring your importance in heaven's story. You noticed it, didn't you, every time you took a step toward purpose? Opposition rose. Every time you decided to heal, old wounds reopened. Every time you tried to move forward, life seemed to push back harder. That's because you were getting close to something sacred, something the enemy could not afford for you to touch. There's a law in the spirit realm: the closer you are to breakthrough, the greater the pressure becomes. It's not punishment, it's confirmation. The enemy amplifies chaos before collapse. He roars the loudest right before he loses his grip. That's what's been happening around you, the shaking, the confusion, the waves of discouragement. It wasn't random. It was a last stand. Remember, this shadows only grow darker when the light is about to rise. You have endured blow after blow, but you never surrendered. And though you've questioned, cried, and felt forgotten, the truth remains: you are still standing. Heaven celebrates that fact more than you realize. The Spirit spoke through the prophet Jeremiah, chapter 20, verse 11. But the Lord is with me as a mighty warrior, so my persecutors will stumble and not prevail. You see, the moment darkness realized you would not bow, fear began to tremble. You became dangerous to hell because you refused to quit. Every time you prayed while bleeding, every time you worshipped while weary, you declared to the spiritual realm that you were unshakable. That's not weakness, that's warfare. Your tears have been intercession. Your silence has been strategy. You've been fighting battles no one else could see. But heaven has been fighting with you. When you had no words, angels were dispatched on your behalf. When you were too tired to lift your head, God's hand covered you. You are not defenseless, you are divinely backed. Do you understand how rare that is? Many collapse under far less. But you stayed. That endurance rattled darkness. You are proof that light doesn't always shout. Sometimes it simply refuses to go out. So the enemy changed tactics. He tried to use exhaustion, confusion, distraction. He whispered lies into your mind. You're too far gone. You'll never make it. You're alone. But those were not your thoughts. They were spiritual noise meant to drown out the truth. And the truth is this: you are chosen, covered, and unstoppable. Darkness can mimic noise, but it cannot counterfeit presence. Every time you felt surrounded, you were actually being shielded. Every time the battle intensified, heaven was positioning victory. That's why, even at your lowest, something inside you refused to die. That spark, the one that wouldn't go out, is divine proof that you are heaven's possession. Chosen one, the fact that you are still here means you've already won more than you realize. The worst has passed. The breaking is behind you. What remains is only refinement and revelation. The chaos around you has been heaven's signal that a new season is being born. The enemy's final weapon was fear. He tried to make you afraid of your own calling, to convince you that peace was safer than purpose. But peace without purpose is still bondage. And you, chosen one, were never created for comfort. You were created for conquest. Listen carefully. This is not the end of your story. The darkness that surrounded you was not the closing curtain. It was the final test before elevation. You are crossing from battle into breakthrough, from warfare into witness. Your wounds are about to speak louder than your words. The same areas that once hurt you will become the altars of your anointing. Now breathe. Let your spirit settle. You fought long enough to earn this silence, this calm before victory unfolds. The light breaking through is not faint, it's focused, and it's coming straight for you. If you feel this truth resonating deep within your soul, I want you to make a declaration in the comments below. I rise again. Type it boldly, not as empty words, but as a prophetic act of defiance against everything that tried to destroy you. When you write it, you're not just typing letters, you're marking a shift in the spiritual realm. You're telling heaven, I'm ready to stand, and telling darkness, you failed. Because that's the truth, it failed. The weapon was formed, but it didn't prosper. You have outlasted every plot, every lie, every midnight tear. You have become a living testament that the light of God cannot be extinguished. So stand tall, chosen one. The night has lost its hold. The dawn has already begun to break, and soon the world will see what heaven has always known: you were never losing. You were being prepared to rise. There were seasons, chosen one, when silence became your closest companion. You prayed, and the heavens felt like stone. You cried, and no echo returned. You reached for God, and your hands met stillness. Those were the silent seasons, the ones that pressed you hardest, tested you deepest, and carved out the sacred space where faith could truly live. In those moments, you wondered if you had done something wrong. You asked yourself whether heaven had forgotten your name, whether your prayers were too weak to reach the throne. But hear this truth clearly: silence from heaven is not absence. It is divine strategy. The silence was not punishment, it was placement. You were being positioned in stillness so that when God spoke again, you would recognize his voice without confusion. You see, silence has purpose. It forces you to listen beyond noise, to find the whisper behind the wind. When God hides his voice, he is teaching your heart to see him in new ways. He is shifting you from needing signs to knowing presence, from chasing answers to carrying peace. During those quiet seasons, the world around you seemed to move forward while you stood still. Others received breakthroughs while you waited. Others celebrated while you wrestled. Yet the delay was not denial, it was design. God was fortifying your roots before unveiling your fruit. The deeper He intended to take you, the longer He allowed the silence to shape you. We are reminded through the writings of David in the Psalms. Chapter 62, verse 5. Yes, my soul, find rest in God, my hope comes from Him. Those words were not written in celebration, but in surrender. David knew the agony of waiting. He knew what it meant to cry out and hear nothing back. And yet, even in that silence, his soul learned to rest. That's what you've been learning too. To trust without proof, to believe without evidence, to stand without applause. God's silence was His classroom, and you were the student He trusted most. You were learning the holy art of stillness, the discipline of not rushing ahead when heaven seems quiet. Because true faith isn't proven when you hear His voice clearly. It's proven when you stay faithful even when He seems far away. You see, silence reveals who you really are. It strips away performance, pride, and pretense. It exposes whether your worship is rooted in reward or in relationship. It asks the question that refines every believer: will you still love Him when He's silent? Chosen one, you did. Through every unanswered prayer, you kept showing up. Through every delay, you kept hoping. When others gave up, you remained. That persistence in silence has marked you as trustworthy in heaven's eyes. God knows now that He can trust you with mystery, that you won't abandon your post when revelation doesn't arrive on schedule. There's something sacred about people who can walk through silence and still sing. You've been one of them. Every quiet night was a test of loyalty that you passed without realizing. You kept your hands open, your heart tender, your faith alive. And now, heaven is preparing to speak again, but this time you will recognize His voice instantly. The next word from heaven will not come as thunder. It will come as recognition. You will suddenly understand why the silence was necessary, why the wait was holy. You will see that every unanswered prayer was redirected favor. Every door that stayed shut was guarding you from harm. Every delay was divine timing aligning with precision. The silence wasn't empty, it was full of rearrangement, full of unseen protection, full of divine choreography. While you waited, God was moving pieces into place. While you prayed for one thing, He was preparing something better. You were never abandoned. You were being refined for revelation. And soon, that revelation will arrive not in noise, but in clarity. You'll look back and say, "Now I understand." You'll realize that God was speaking all along, just not in the way you expected. His silence was His speech. His quiet was His construction. Beloved, learn to treasure those seasons. They are where maturity is born. When the world goes silent and only your heartbeat remains, that's where you discover what you truly believe. That's where faith ceases to be a concept and becomes your breath. You didn't fail in the silence, you flourished in it. Though unseen, your roots grew deep. Though unheard, your prayers carried weight. Heaven values that kind of faith more than miracles. Because miracles are temporary, but trust refined in silence is eternal. Now that the quiet has done its work, you will notice something beautiful. Peace will no longer depend on answers. You won't crave constant signs anymore. You will walk with assurance, knowing that whether God speaks loudly or softly, He is always present. So do not despise the silent seasons, chosen one. They were your training ground. They made you discerning, grounded, and unshakable. You learned to walk by faith, not sight. You learned that absence is an illusion and that heaven never leaves its beloved alone. The silence has ended, and the next sound you will hear is the gentle unfolding of promise. When it comes, You will be ready, not desperate, but steady. Because you have learned what few ever master, how to trust the God who sometimes hides to heal. You were never alone, chosen one. Not for a single heartbeat, even when you walked through rooms that echoed with emptiness, even when your pillow was soaked with silent tears. Unseen hands were holding you. You were never abandoned in the dark. You were accompanied by angels trained for your journey. Think back. Those moments you nearly gave up, how did you still find the strength to rise the next day? That wasn't coincidence. That was divine assistance. Heaven assigned guardians to your steps, like watchmen along a mountain trail. You didn't see them, but you felt the whispers that said, "Keep going." You mistook that whisper for your own resilience. But it was grace, wrapping itself around your will. When you were too weak to pray, someone else interceded for you, an unseen choir lifting your name before the throne. When danger stalked quietly near you, protection formed a shield you could not see. The air around you was charged with heaven's defense. You were never walking alone through the battlefield. You were surrounded by an army dressed in light. The voice of God thundered in the book of Exodus, chapter 14. Verse 14, "The Lord will fight for you. You need only to be still." That truth has followed you like a shadow of mercy. You mistook stillness for helplessness. But it was strategy. God wasn't ignoring you. He was fighting for you in ways silence could not reveal. When you stopped striving, heaven started moving. Every closed door was protection, not punishment. Every delay was heaven's way of building a bridge ahead before letting you cross. You've been living between battles, unaware that angels have been stationed at every turn. They have carried your cries like torches into heaven's courts. They have shielded you from unseen attacks, diverted accidents, and whispered comfort into your weary mind. There were moments when you thought you were saved by luck, but no, it was orchestration. You were covered, chosen one. Your survival is evidence of divine partnership. The reason you are still standing is not because you are strong, it's because you are supported. Grace is the invisible hand beneath your story. Mercy is the wind that kept your flame from going out. You are like a lighthouse standing against relentless storms unmoved, not because of your own foundation, but because heaven anchored you deep. You are like a candle in a drafty room, flickering but never extinguished, because unseen hands guarded your flame. You are like a tree in winter, appearing lifeless but secretly nourished beneath the soil. That's how God works quietly, faithfully, invisibly. His love doesn't always shout from the sky. Sometimes it hums beneath your sorrow. You may not have felt him in the moment, but he was there in every second of it. And now, as you stand near the edge of breakthrough, pause and honor that unseen faithfulness. Take a deep breath and whisper gratitude for every hidden miracle. Gratitude opens gates that strength alone cannot. This is also the perfect moment to reflect on how divine messages like this one find you exactly when you need them. It isn't by accident that you're hearing these words right now. Perhaps heaven sent you here to remind you that you are covered and to invite you to carry this light forward. So if these words touch your spirit, let them ripple. Share them like seeds carried by wind. When you share, you become part of the miracle. Someone else's midnight might find its dawn because of your simple act. When you like, you lift the signal higher, allowing the message to reach others who think they are alone. And when you subscribe, you stay connected to this current of light, ensuring that when heaven releases the next word, it finds you instantly. And for those who feel led in their hearts to go deeper, to sow into this flow, consider giving not as obligation, but as partnership. Think of it as placing oil into a lamp that burns for countless others. Your offering, however small, becomes fuel that allows the message of faith, courage, and divine truth to reach those still wandering in darkness. In the same way that the widow's oil never ran dry, generosity poured in faith multiplies beyond measure. This isn't about wealth, it's about worship. Every seed sown here carries light forward. Every click, every share, every act of kindness is a ripple in eternity. You are not just a listener, you are a co-laborer with heaven. So thank you for showing up, for believing, for staying open to divine reminders like this. Thank you for helping the voice of light echo further, beyond the noise of fear and doubt. Because of you, hope keeps traveling. Remember, you have never walked alone. You have been carried, shielded, surrounded. The God who fought for you before is still fighting for you now. You were never forsaken, you were fortified. And even in the quiet hours of your pain, heaven stood guard over you. You, chosen one, are covered. And the story that is unfolding will prove that every unseen battle had a purpose. Prophetic signs have been swirling around you. Chosen one, though at first they looked like chaos. The storms that came were not meant to confuse you. They were heaven's coded messages, disguised in disruption. Every shaking, every sudden change, every unexpected ending has been a signal that your spiritual atmosphere is shifting. What you thought was falling apart was actually falling into place. The patterns that once defined your days began to unravel because something divine was approaching. Something too big to fit into your old structure. You prayed for elevation, but heaven cannot lift you without first loosening what holds you. That's why the shaking came. It wasn't to break you, it was to release you. You began to notice little things, didn't you? The sudden urge to let go of certain habits, certain relationships, certain versions of yourself that no longer aligned with your spirit. That restlessness wasn't random, it was spiritual. Heaven was moving you out of comfort into calling. Every unease was a whisper saying, "It's time." According to what is revealed in the book of Proverbs, chapter 16, verse 9. In their hearts humans plan their course, but the Lord establishes their steps. You made your plans, but heaven has been adjusting them in real time. The detours, the delays, the redirections, they were not mistakes. They were recalibrations. God has been steering your path like a river, carving turns you didn't anticipate, but that lead exactly where you're meant to go. Some signs came through storms, others through peace. Sometimes God speaks through fire, sometimes through stillness. You've learned to read both. You've learned that disruption can be direction, that confusion can carry revelation. What felt like destruction was actually divine construction, unseen and unstoppable. The moment you said, "God, I trust you," heaven began to rearrange everything that was built on fear. The collapse of what you thought was stability was actually the clearing of the ground for your new foundation. You are being prepared for something holy, a responsibility, a role, a mission that requires a different version of you. These signs have been appearing like stars at twilight, subtle but undeniable. Dreams that linger in your mind long after waking. Random encounters that feel too meaningful to be coincidence. Words from strangers that confirm what you secretly prayed. Even numbers and patterns repeating times, dates, verses have been heaven's gentle nudges, reminding you that the divine is not distant but deeply involved. Every storm carries instruction. When the winds blow, listen not for noise, but for direction. Heaven often speaks in the middle of motion. The reason your life has been shaking lately is not because you're under attack, but because you're under alignment. You may have thought, "Why is everything changing at once?" It's because heaven doesn't transition you gradually when your assignment is urgent. You've been on holy acceleration, even when it felt like chaos. God has been pressing fast forward on your destiny, pushing you out of waiting into walking. Do not resist the signs because they come wrapped in discomfort. Caterpillars don't recognize the shaking of the cocoon as transformation, but that's what it is. You've been stretched, pressed, and stirred, not to destroy your peace, but to birth your purpose. The unease you've been feeling is the sound of destiny knocking. Chosen one, pay attention. Look again at what's been happening around you. The people leaving, the sudden clarity, the closing of doors, all prophetic patterns. God closes one gate to force your eyes toward another. He subtracts what's temporary so you can finally recognize what's eternal. And when you don't understand, remember this peace is the confirmation of heaven. Confusion pushes you back into prayer, but peace will always mark the right path. When your soul quiets, that's your yes from above. You are entering a time where every sign, every symbol, every small shift matters. Keep your spirit awake. When the winds change direction, follow them. They're not random gusts. They're instructions from heaven's breath. As these signs unfold, your response matters. Not fear, not resistance, but readiness. The divine script is unfolding line by line, and you are one of its central characters. Trust that heaven has not lost control of your story. It's only turning the page. So now, as you stand at the edge of this new chapter, I want you to do something prophetic, something symbolic that echoes your agreement with heaven. Type the number 999 in the comments below. Do it not as superstition, but as a sign that you perceive the shift. Let it represent completion, the ending of one cycle and the birth of another. When you type it, whisper quietly, "I trust the signs." Let it be your declaration that you will not be blinded by fear, that you will discern the divine even in disruption. Because, chosen one, this chaos isn't your collapse, it's your confirmation. The storm you're standing in isn't an ending. It's the sky rearranging itself for your dawn. The enemy's final blow always comes just before the dawn. You've been feeling it, the intensity, the pressure, the exhaustion that seems almost unbearable. It's because darkness knows it is losing its grip. It always strikes hardest when it senses the light about to rise. What you are experiencing now is not defeat. It is the final surge before deliverance. In this stage of the battle, your mind becomes the primary battlefield. The enemy whispers, "You've come too far to turn back, but not far enough to win." He aims not at your body, but at your belief. If he can make you doubt who you are, he can make you surrender what you've already won. But you, chosen one, have learned too much to be deceived now. You know the tactics. You've seen them before. The attacks come in waves, old fears resurfacing. Fatigue that lingers no matter how much you rest. Strange discouragement that falls without reason. But if you look closely, you'll notice something: the waves are getting weaker. Each attempt loses power faster. Every time the darkness pushes, it meets resistance from a strength you didn't even know you carried. You have endured too much to break now. The same God who held you in the valley is standing beside you at the summit. The same angels who protected you in silence are now encircling you in warfare. This is the last round, the final test, the closing scene before the curtain of victory rises. The Word of God declares in the book of Ephesians, chapter 6, verse 13, "Therefore put on the full armor of God, so that when the day of evil comes you may be able to stand your ground. And after you have done everything to stand, you have done everything, fought, prayed, wept, waited, and yet you're still standing. That alone is victory." Standing is not weakness, it's warfare. When everything around you shakes and you remain unmoved, the enemy loses his voice. Right now, the enemy is trying to exhaust you into surrender, to make you believe that strength lies in retreat. But the truth is, even in your weariness, you are winning. Every breath of faith you take pushes back the darkness. Every whisper of trust releases light into places that once held shadows. Think of a candle fighting against the wind. The flame bends, flickers, almost disappears, but it never goes out. That's you. The wind can only test its endurance, not extinguish it. Every time the darkness tried to smother you, it underestimated how much light you carry. The enemy's greatest mistake was letting you survive. Because survival has turned into revelation. You no longer fight from fear, you fight from knowing. You've discovered that the presence of opposition doesn't mean absence of victory. It means you're advancing. You've learned that the battle doesn't prove God has left you, it proves He trusts you. There's a mystery in warfare. The moment you stop fearing the attack loses its power. You've reached that point. The things that once terrified you now seem smaller, weaker, almost irrelevant. You no longer tremble in front of storms, you speak to them. That's how you know transformation has taken root. Every blow the enemy tried to deliver has only built endurance. Every dart of doubt has been turned into discernment. Every loss became training in disguise. You've become a master of spiritual strategy, learning not to react but to recognize, not to panic but to pray. Chosen one, this is the season where your posture matters more than your pace. Do not rush. Do not retreat. Stand. When you stand, you occupy territory the enemy cannot reclaim. Your stillness becomes a declaration of faith. Your peace becomes a weapon sharper than any sword. Remember how many times you thought you wouldn't make it, and yet you did. Each almost became a testimony. Each fall became a rise. Each night birthed a morning. That pattern will not break now. The final blow may sting, but it cannot stop destiny. You are being refined to carry power, not just victory. The end of this battle is not about escape, it's about elevation. What is dying in this season is not you, but everything that cannot go with you into the next. Old fears, false identities, outdated versions of yourself, all being stripped away so your true strength can shine. It feels heavy now because heaven is removing weights you got used to carrying. It feels lonely because clarity often requires quiet. But once this moment passes, and it will, you will see that this was never destruction. It was graduation. The enemy's blow is his last. You will not see him again in this form. You are stepping into a higher frequency of faith where old battles cannot follow. The atmosphere around you is already shifting. Peace is returning like sunrise over storm-tossed seas. So breathe, warrior of light. You've already won more than you know. The sounds of battle are fading. The voice of victory is near. Soon, the same place that held your pain will echo with your praise. And when you walk out of this final round, you won't just leave with victory, you'll leave with authority. The refining fire, chosen one, is not sent to destroy, it is sent to define. You have been walking through flames that few could endure, and though they burned away much that was familiar, they could not consume what is eternal in you. Fire is heaven's tool of transformation. It does not visit the counterfeit, it visits the chosen. Only gold is placed in the furnace, never dust. That's why you've been tested so intensely, because you are precious in the eyes of God. It was never random. Every trial, every heartbreak, every shattered expectation was part of the refining. The fire strips away illusions, revealing the purity beneath the pain. It burns not to harm, but to reveal what can survive heat. The impurities, the fears, the attachments, the pride, the self-doubt had to melt so that your true self could emerge radiant and unbreakable. In the furnace, you discovered what no comfort could teach, that strength is not the absence of struggle, but faith that endures within it. Fire doesn't ask for permission, it demands transformation. Yet you endured it, not because you are invincible, but because grace shielded you within the flames. As was spoken in the sacred texts of old, in the book of Isaiah, chapter 48, verse 10, "See, I have refined you, though not as silver. I have tested you in the furnace of affliction." These words are not condemnation, they are confirmation. God Himself acknowledges your suffering, not as wasted pain, but as divine craftsmanship. You were being refined for a purpose that could not be fulfilled in comfort. Every degree of heat was measured, every moment of burning carefully timed. The refiner never leaves the fire unattended. His eyes remained fixed on you, ensuring that the flames purified but never destroyed. It felt like abandonment, didn't it? The moments when prayers seemed to disappear into smoke, when everything around you crumbled and you stood amid the ashes wondering if anything good could rise again. But that was where the miracle began. Because in the fire, your faith became flame-proof. You learned to praise not for deliverance, but in defiance to sing, not because you escaped, but because you endured. The refining process changes perception. What once looked like punishment now reveals itself as preparation. You begin to see that the same fire that burned your past is now lighting your path. You start to understand that pain was never the enemy, it was the instrument of purification. You are emerging from this fire different, softer in heart, but sharper in spirit, more humble, yet more powerful. The very things that once wounded you have now become your wisdom. You no longer fear the fire because you have learned its rhythm. You understand that the flame never lasts forever, it finishes its work and then fades. Do you see it now? The ashes around your feet are not ruins, they are remnants of what could no longer contain you. You outgrew the version of yourself that the old world recognized. What burned away was not your destiny, but your disguise. Every trial you faced was heaven's forge shaping your resilience. Every heartbreak taught compassion. Every loss carved space for greater glory. You no longer carry bitterness because you understand the higher pattern. Even your scars now glow with purpose. They have become windows where light escapes. The fire taught you dependence not on people, not on circumstances, but on divine presence. When everything else melted away, only that presence remained. That is the gift of affliction. It leaves you with nothing but what truly matters. And now, as the flames settle, something extraordinary is happening. From the very ground that burned beneath you, new life begins to emerge. The soil, though scorched, becomes fertile again. Seeds of purpose are breaking through where pain once stood. You can almost feel it, the warmth of transformation shifting from destructive to creative. Chosen one. You will notice the subtle signs of renewal, peace returning like morning light through the smoke, joy rising unexpectedly in ordinary moments, clarity coming where confusion once reigned. The fire has completed its task, and now it bows before you. You survived what was meant to silence you, and in doing so, you have become a living flame, a carrier of divine light that cannot be extinguished. Others will look at you and not understand how you survived what consumed so many. But that's the mystery of grace. It doesn't make you immune to fire. It makes you indestructible through it. When the refiner's fire is finished, the gold doesn't boast, it simply shines. That's you now purified, steady, luminous. Your spirit glows with quiet authority, not loud, not boastful, but certain. The battle scars have become proof of refinement, the evidence that heaven invests in what it values. You are ready now to walk forward, not in the smell of smoke, but in the fragrance of resurrection. The worst is behind you, and what remains is brilliance. Chosen one, step out of the furnace and into the light. You have been refined, not reduced, and the fire that once burned you will now serve to illuminate the path ahead. You are awakening, chosen one, not slowly, not halfway, but fully. The fog that once clouded your vision is lifting, and the truth of who you are is rising like the sun over shadowed waters. You are beginning to remember what the world tried to make you forget, that you carry divine authority. You are not a victim of circumstance. You are an ambassador of heaven, sent to rewrite the narrative of darkness. The awakening doesn't come with thunder. It comes with recognition. A moment when your spirit whispers, "Wait, I was never powerless." That realization is dangerous to darkness, because once a child of light remembers their authority, no chain can hold them. You are stepping into that remembrance now. The apostle reminds us in his letter to the Romans, chapter 8, verse 37. "No, in all these things we are more than conquerors through him who loved us." More than conquerors, not barely surviving, not just enduring more than. It means you walk in victory even before battles end. It means the outcome is secured, not by your strength, but by your identity. That's why the enemy fought to keep you asleep, because a sleeping warrior is harmless. But you are waking, and heaven is rejoicing. This awakening is not arrogance, it's awareness. You are not becoming someone new, you are remembering who you've always been. Every moment of weakness you've endured has trained you for strength. Every doubt has been the soil where conviction grew. Every time you questioned your worth, heaven whispered, "You are still mine." And now your spirit begins to rise. You sense it when you pray, your words feel heavier, more potent. You sense it when you speak, truth flows through your voice with unexpected power. You sense it when you enter a room, atmospheres shift even before you say a word. That's not imagination, it's influence. The authority within you has awakened. You carry the name of the one who conquers. You are not here to hide your light, but to release it. Every environment you step into becomes a battleground transformed into holy ground. You don't need titles or validation, heaven's signature already rests upon you. Remember when you used to shrink back, afraid of being too much, too intense, too spiritual. That fear was planted to keep your fire dim. But no more. You were never meant to blend in. You were meant to stand out as a beacon of clarity in a world drowning in confusion. Authority is not about dominance. It's about alignment. When your will aligns with heaven's, creation listens. You speak, and things begin to move. Not because you command them by ego, but because heaven recognizes its own voice within yours. There will be those who don't understand this awakening. Some will doubt you, others will distance themselves. Let them. Not everyone is meant to walk with the awakened. Some will see your fire and mistake it for pride. Others will feel conviction and call it offense. You are not responsible for their perception, you are responsible for your obedience. The awakening of authority means you no longer fight for approval. You operate from assignment. You no longer chase validation. You carry confirmation. You no longer fear rejection. You rest in revelation. Chosen one, when you speak now, words will carry weight, not because of volume, but because of anointing. When you pray, things will shift. When you declare, storms will still. When you forgive, chains will break. That's what divine authority looks like in motion. It's subtle, yet unstoppable. You've been through the fire, through silence, through battle, and all of it led here. The refining has birthed remembrance. You are remembering how heaven operates through you. That's why you feel a holy boldness stirring, an unexplainable confidence that doesn't come from pride but from purpose. You'll notice this awakening in your perspective. You won't see problems the same way anymore. You'll see patterns. You won't see enemies as threats, but as confirmations that you're carrying something valuable. You'll no longer feel outnumbered because you'll sense heaven's army walking with you. The authority within you is not loud, it's steady. It doesn't panic when storms rage. It commands peace. It doesn't crumble under pressure. It creates order. You are walking proof that divine power can live in human vessels. And now, as your spirit recognizes what's been hidden all along, I want you to seal this moment with a declaration. Write these 3 words in the comments below: I have authority. Type it as a decree, not as a slogan. When you write it, you are affirming to heaven and reminding hell that you know who you are. You're drawing a line in the spirit that says, I no longer bow to fear. I walk in faith. You're not waiting for permission, you're walking in your inheritance. The awakening of authority is not about becoming louder, it's about becoming surer. You no longer beg heaven to move. You realize heaven moves through you. Every breath, every word, every step becomes sacred command. Rise, chosen one. Let this world see what divine authority looks like, clothed in compassion. You are awake now, and nothing will ever put you back to sleep. Listen, chosen one, can you hear it? The sound rising within you is not the cry of survival anymore. It is the roar of victory. The same voice that once whispered prayers through tears now thunders with authority. You are no longer begging heaven for rescue, you are joining heaven's chorus of triumph. This roar doesn't come from pride, it comes from remembrance. Lions don't learn to roar, they remember they were born to. You were never meant to whisper your way through destiny. The silence of your past season prepared the power of your present one. You are stepping into a time when your voice will shake the ground beneath fear itself. When you speak, chosen one, it will not be noise, it will be decree. Heaven and earth will listen because your words carry alignment. You are declaring not as a servant pleading for favor, but as an heir speaking inheritance into motion. That's what happens when a heart purified by fire begins to roar. As Jesus himself declared in the Gospel of Matthew, chapter 17, verse 20, truly I tell you, if you have faith as small as a mustard seed, you can say to this mountain, move from here to there, and it will move. Nothing will be impossible for you. This is that moment. You're not praying for mountains to move anymore, you're commanding them. The roar rising in you is not rebellion, it's realization. You have faith that no longer asks, can I, but declares, I will. The enemy hoped your voice would stay buried under doubt. But every wound, every silence, every storm has been shaping that sound. Now it emerges strong, pure, and undeniable. Heaven didn't just want you to survive. Heaven wanted you to sound like victory. Your voice is the echo of divine courage. When you speak truth, it cuts through confusion. When you declare peace, storms still. When you share your story, it becomes someone else's survival guide. You are a vessel of resonance, carrying heaven's tone into human chaos. And because of that, what you do with your voice matters. The digital world may seem noisy, but even one voice filled with divine purpose can silence the noise of despair. When you share this message, you are releasing sound waves of light. When you like or comment, you are helping this roar travel further, reaching someone who's on the verge of giving up. You may think your small action doesn't matter, but remember the mustard seed's small, yet powerful enough to move mountains. Each act of sharing becomes a spark. Each click becomes an echo somewhere. Another chosen one will hear this message through you. And if your spirit feels stirred to do more to sow into the spreading of these words, know that your giving becomes a sacred exchange. It's not about money, it's about mission. You're not funding noise, you're fueling revival. Think of it like this: every donation is a drop of oil poured into a lamp that refuses to go out. Every act of generosity keeps the flame of hope burning for someone walking through their own midnight. You are not just an observer, you are part of the continuation of this divine message. When you give, even in small measure, it becomes a ripple in eternity. The same way rain nourishes unseen roots, your contribution sustains unseen hearts. Heaven multiplies every seed given in love. This message exists because of people who believed in light. Maybe you're one of them now, the next torchbearer in a long chain of faith. So, if your heart feels moved, do what only love can inspire. Share this light. Like it so it rises above the noise. Subscribe, not just to a channel, but to a calling to stay connected to the flow of revelation that heaven keeps releasing. And if you can give as worship. Let your support be a declaration that says, I believe this light must continue. Every person who joins this movement through listening, sharing, or sowing becomes part of heaven's network of redemption. Together, we form a constellation of voices, each one shining in a different corner of the earth. Imagine it a web of light stretching across nations, linked not by fame but by faith. That's what you're building when you participate. You are not just consuming words, you are carrying them. You are not just being inspired, you are becoming inspiration. Every roar begins as a whisper that someone chose to share. Chosen one, your victory roar is not meant to echo in isolation. It's meant to awaken others still lost in silence. Lift your voice not just in worship, but in witness. Let your sound join the growing symphony of the chosen rising all over the earth. Your roar carries healing. Your story carries authority. Your generosity carries legacy. Heaven smiles when its children work together to amplify the voice of truth. So let the sound go forth. Let your actions roar as loudly as your words. Share, give, connect, believe, and watch as heaven multiplies your obedience into impact. Because you are not just a survivor, chosen one, you are the sound of victory itself. You stand before the gate of promise, chosen one. The air around you feels charged, thick with expectancy, heavy with meaning. This is the threshold you prayed for, the place where long seasons of obedience and endurance converge. But before you cross, heaven pauses you for one last breath. The gate is not just a doorway, it is a test of trust. You have waited, wrestled, and wandered. Yet here you are. The distance between promise spoken and promise seen is only one act of surrender away. That's how heaven works, not through force, but through yielding. The final step isn't a leap of effort, it's a release of control. Many have stood where you stand now and turned back. They mistook the weight of transition for rejection. But you, chosen one, must discern the difference. This heaviness you feel is not the door closing, it's destiny pressing open. Every delay was heaven's way of ensuring that when this gate opened, you would be mature enough to walk through it. The ancient words recorded in the book of Joshua, chapter 1, verse 9, still echo today. Be strong and courageous. Do not be afraid, do not be discouraged, for the Lord your God will be with you wherever you go. Those words were spoken to a man standing at his own threshold. Joshua had wandered 40 years through wilderness, and when the promise finally stood before him, the real battle began not with enemies outside, but with fear inside. The same is true for you. The final test is not about strength, it's about surrender. Crossing into promise requires courage that looks like calm. It asks for faith that rests instead of striving. Heaven doesn't demand perfection from you, it asks for trust. The kind of trust that says, even if I can't see it, I still believe it's ready. At this gate, God doesn't need your performance, He wants your permission. The promise is already prepared, but heaven will not force it upon unwilling hearts. That's why you've been learning to let go of control, of timing, of needing to understand. Every no you heard in the past was shaping your yes for this moment. The gate of promise opens not with a key, but with surrender. The moment you release your fear, your need to figure everything out, the latch turns. Promise doesn't respond to panic, it responds to peace. You have been through too much to hesitate now. Look back only to recognize how far you've come. The wilderness was your training ground, not your home. Every lesson you learned in lack will serve you in abundance. Every scar you carry from the desert is a reminder that you can trust the one who sustained you there. Now, as you stand before the gate, the world behind you begins to fade. Old identities, old burdens, old ways of thinking, they cannot cross over with you. Promise demands purity, not of perfection, but of focus. You cannot carry old fear into new territory. You cannot bring old doubts into a new covenant. The crossing requires lightness, and heaven has already stripped you of the unnecessary. In this sacred pause, listen. Can you hear the hum of heaven? The gate is alive, waiting for your agreement. It does not open with noise, but with recognition. When your spirit finally says, I'm ready, something in the unseen world unlocks. It won't look like fireworks. It will look like peace. That's how you'll know the moment has come. Chosen one. As you cross, remember this gate does not lead to ease, it leads to expansion. Promise always comes with responsibility. You will be trusted with influence, with revelation, with people to lead. But do not fear it, you've already been shaped for it in the hidden years. Every hardship was rehearsal for authority. You will know you've entered promise when familiar struggles no longer bind you, when what used to drain you no longer holds power. The air will feel different, lighter, freer, charged with clarity. You'll begin to notice divine coincidences stacking like steps ahead of you, each one confirming you're in the right place. And yet, stay humble. Promise is not the end, it's a new beginning. The same God who brought you here will continue to walk with you beyond the gate. Don't rush forward without listening. Each step ahead will require fresh dependence. This moment is holy. Heaven watches in silence, waiting for you to move not in haste, but in harmony. The gate will not open for those who try to force it. It opens for those who trust the timing. So take one last deep breath. Feel the ground beneath your feet, the proof that every desert led somewhere. Lift your eyes. The gate is open now. Step forward, not as one uncertain, but as one who knows that what lies ahead has already been written in divine ink. You have reached the edge of fulfillment. Now walk through it. Chosen one. The gate of promise swings wide. There are moments, chosen one, when heaven leans close not to announce something new, but to remind you of what has never changed. You have crossed through fire, silence, and storm. You have stood before the gate and entered promise. And now, as you take your first steps in this new season, God whispers again the same truth He spoke long ago, I am still with you. This is the covenant reminder. It comes not with lightning or thunder, but with quiet reassurance. The God who called you at the beginning has not changed His mind midway. The same voice that guided you through darkness still guides you in light. You haven't been disqualified by delay or damaged by failure. The covenant stands untouched by time, unbroken by trial. Heaven speaks clearly through the words in Deuteronomy chapter 7, verse 9. Know therefore that the Lord your God is God. He is the faithful God, keeping his covenant of love to 1,000 generations of those who love him and keep his commandments. You see, chosen one, the covenant was never a contract. A contract can be broken when one side fails. But a covenant, it's born of love, sealed by mercy and sustained by grace. It is not built on your perfection, but on his promise. That's why you're still here. That's why the light in you never went out. Even when you drifted, heaven did not cancel your calling, it covered it until you returned. In this new chapter, you're not being reintroduced to God, you're being reconnected to what he already declared over you. Every prophecy, every promise, every word spoken in the hidden places is resurfacing now. Things you thought were forgotten are stirring again. Dreams you buried because they seemed too big are breathing. Heaven is bringing old promises back into focus, not to torment you with waiting, but to show you the time has come. This is the season of remembrance. You are walking beneath open skies where divine memory is awakening. God is not recalling your sins, he's recalling your destiny. He's looking at you and saying, I still intend to finish what I started. Maybe you've doubted that recently. Maybe you've looked at the mirror and thought, I've messed up too much. I've missed my chance. But the covenant doesn't depend on your consistency, it rests on his faithfulness. You can't outfail God's plans. You can't outwander his reach. The covenant is like an unbreakable thread woven through time. You may stray far, but the thread remains connected. And now, heaven is tugging that thread gently, drawing you back to alignment. Every step forward you take is not just progress, it's prophecy unfolding. You are walking in promises written before you took your first breath. You are stepping into scenes heaven scripted long before your doubts appeared. What you are seeing now is not coincidence, it's covenant fulfillment. Chosen one, this remembrance carries weight. It's not nostalgia, it's revelation. God is showing you how faithful he has been all along, so you can walk forward with renewed confidence. Look back only to trace his fingerprints through your story. The same presence that carried you through every valley is the same one building your mountaintop. He never left you. He never stopped believing in you. That's the miracle of covenant, it endures when everything else fades. The promises of men fail because they are built on emotion. But the promises of God endure because they are built on eternity. When you grasp this truth, fear loses its power. You stop worrying about losing blessings, because covenantal blessings cannot be stolen, they can only be delayed until you are ready to receive them. That's why certain doors took time to open. Heaven wasn't withholding, it was waiting. Now, the waiting has ended. The reminders are pouring in through signs, scriptures, songs, and moments that feel strangely familiar. It's God saying, remember who you are. He is aligning your spirit with his original intention. You are stepping into promises older than pain. And because this moment is holy, I want you to mark it in faith. Do something prophetic, something simple, yet powerful. Comment the number 1111 below, not as superstition, but as a covenant reminder. Let it symbolize divine alignment, the merging of heaven's timing with your obedience. When you type it, let your heart say, I remember. I still believe. Let that number be your sign that you recognize heaven's hand has never lifted from your life. You are not behind schedule. You are right on time, God's time. The covenant still stands. The promise still breathes. The same God who carried Abraham under the stars, who sustained David in caves, who raised Lazarus from death, he carries, sustains, and revives you now. So walk boldly in this reminder. Every word spoken over you still echoes in eternity. Nothing has been lost, only refined, matured, and made ready. You have entered not just a new chapter, but a divine continuation. The covenant still burns bright, written not on stone, but on your heart. Chosen one, lift your eyes, the promise lives. There is a shift in the unseen realm. Chosen one. You can feel it like the quiet change in the air before rain falls. The atmosphere that once felt heavy is beginning to lighten. The opposition that once felt immovable is losing strength. The tide is turning not because the battle has disappeared, but because the balance of power has changed. This is the turning of the tide. Heaven has stepped into your situation, rearranging what could not be fixed by human hands. The unseen has begun to bow to divine authority. Things long delayed are being released. You can't always see it yet, but your spirit recognizes it, the feeling that something old is closing and something holy is opening. The shift began the moment you chose obedience over anxiety. Every time you decided to trust instead of fear, the tide moved a little further in your favor. Every prayer whispered in exhaustion, every act of faith done in secret, all of them gathered like waves beneath the surface, now building momentum to carry you forward. It was proclaimed in the second letter to Timothy, chapter 4, verse 18. The Lord will rescue me from every evil attack and will bring me safely to his heavenly kingdom. To him be glory forever and ever. This is not a distant hope. It is a present promise. You are not waiting to be rescued. Heaven is already intervening. The same God who calmed the Red Sea now commands the tides surrounding your life. You don't need to fight harder, you simply need to stay anchored. The water is rising, but this time it rises in your favor. The turning of the tide rarely begins with spectacle. It begins with stillness. The moment you stopped running, the waters began to shift. You stood your ground when everything in you wanted to flee, and heaven marked that as faith. You learned that victory isn't always loud, it's often quiet persistence in the face of chaos. Every delay that once frustrated you was part of divine timing. You were not waiting for God to move, he was waiting for the perfect moment to reveal movement that had already begun. Like the tide turning beneath the moon's pull, his timing is silent but sure. The change may start small, a conversation that opens a door, a peace that replaces panic, a sudden sense of clarity, but it will grow until everything looks different. There's a rhythm to divine reversal. It doesn't just change what's around you, it changes what's within you. As the tide turns outwardly, your faith strengthens inwardly. You begin to notice that the things which once intimidated you no longer do. The situations that drained your courage now draw out your authority. You are not reacting anymore, you are responding with calm dominion. When God turns the tide, he does it completely. What used to chase you begins to flee from you. What once oppressed you becomes opportunity. The same sea that threatened to drown you becomes the path that carries you forward. That's what this moment is. The waters that terrified you are now becoming testimony. You may still hear the echoes of the old storm, but don't be deceived by noise. The roar of retreating waves sounds like chaos, but it's only the sound of what once held you releasing its grip. The pressure you feel is not resistance anymore, it's momentum. You are being propelled into new territory by the very forces that once tried to destroy you. Chosen one, remember how often the tide seemed against you, doors closing, relationships dissolving, prayers unanswered. But now, all of it aligns with heaven's pattern. What was withheld will return multiplied. What was lost will be redeemed. God wastes nothing, not even the battles that left scars. This is why you've been feeling strange peace lately, the kind that doesn't make sense. You sense something shifting before evidence appears. That's your spirit recognizing divine order reestablishing itself. Heaven is balancing what life made uneven. Justice is coming quietly but surely. Be patient with the process. Tides do not turn instantly, they move gradually yet unstoppably. You may not see everything changing at once, but trust the current. The pull of heaven is stronger than the resistance of circumstance. And as you walk through these days, stay sensitive. The turning will bring both endings and beginnings. Some chapters will close softly, others suddenly. Do not cling to what is meant to recede. The sea does not apologize for pulling back, it knows the power of return. When the tide comes fully in, you will stand in awe at how perfectly everything fits. The timing, the connections, the opportunities all orchestrated with divine precision. What felt like loss will be revealed as rearrangement. The tide is turning. Chosen one. The battle is no longer against you, it is working for you. The same waves that once knocked you down are now lifting you higher. Stay anchored, stay faithful, and let heaven's current carry you into the fulfillment that has been waiting just beyond the horizon. You are being crowned in glory, chosen one. The crown does not fall from heaven like gold from the sky, it forms. Slowly, from every moment you refuse to surrender to despair. Glory gathers around you not as a reward for perfection, but as recognition of endurance. Every tear, every ache, every act of faith in the dark has become a jewel set into the crown you now wear. Glory is not fame. It is not the applause of people or the echo of your name in the mouths of others. Glory is weight, the sacred heaviness of divine presence resting upon your life. You have carried suffering. Now you will carry splendor. The hand that once wiped your tears is the same hand placing this crown upon you. We are reminded through the writings of David in the Psalms, chapter 3, verse 3. But you, O Lord, are a shield for me, my glory and the lifter up of my head. You see, glory is not something you earn, it is something God restores. You bowed your head in grief, but heaven lifts it again in grace. The very moments you thought broke you were the chisels that shaped your strength. The valleys that humiliated you were forging humility deep within a humility strong enough to carry honor without losing heart. When God crowns you, He does not erase your past, He redeems it. Every scar becomes a sparkle in the gold. The memories of defeat no longer sting, they shine. Glory is not the absence of pain, it is beauty born from it. What once made you weep will now make you worship. You are being crowned not for surviving, but for surrendering correctly. For trusting when you could not trace. For holding on to the unseen hand when the visible world gave you nothing to hold. Glory descends where faith endured. Look at your reflection in the Spirit, chosen one. You will notice that the weariness of battle has turned into wisdom. The trembling in your voice has become authority. Even your silence carries weight now. You speak less, but your words pierce deeper. You no longer need to prove your worth. Presence alone testifies for you. Glory does not make you louder, it makes you luminous. Those who encounter you will not just hear faith, they will feel it. You will walk into rooms and shift the atmosphere without explanation. That is what happens when divine radiance dwells within human fragility. The treasure is housed in clay, but the light inside is eternal. Do not mistake this season for comfort alone. Glory carries responsibility. To wear it well, you must walk gently. You are now light to those still in darkness, a reminder that broken things can shine again. The way you speak, forgive, and move will teach others what restoration looks like. The crown is not a decoration, it is a commission. Heaven crowns you to send you. Glory is the evidence of transformation, not the end of it. You are being equipped to carry God's nature into ordinary places, to be the reflection of grace in the corners of the world that have forgotten how to hope. When Moses descended from the mountain, his face shone so brightly that people could not look at him. Yet he did not know he glowed, he simply reflected what he had encountered. That is what is happening to you. You are not seeking glory, you are reflecting it. It rests upon you because you have been near the fire and did not flee. This glory will not make you untouchable, it will make you transparent. People will see God through you, not because you preach louder, but because you live truer. Every act of kindness, every word of grace, every quiet moment of integrity will become rays of light streaming through your life. Chosen one, glory is the visible language of heaven written across your story. It says to the world, this one belongs to me. It declares that your journey was never random, that every loss had purpose, that the furnace of affliction has birthed radiance instead of ruin. And though the world may not understand it, those who carry light will recognize you. They will feel the warmth around you, the calm that follows you, the peace that walks beside you. You are becoming the living evidence of divine faithfulness, a mirror of mercy, a vessel of victory. So walk gently, crowned one. You do not need to rush, royalty never hurries. The glory upon you will guide your steps, and let your presence speak what words cannot. The season of hiding has ended, and the season of shining has begun. You are crowned in glory softly, steadily, eternally. The same God who lifted your head will keep it high, and every time you doubt it, simply remember you are not wearing this crown for yourself, but for the one who placed it there. You wear the mantle now. Chosen one, it rests on your shoulders, woven not from cloth but from calling. You are no longer simply the one who survived, you are the one who leads. Heaven did not bring you through storms just to sit in silence. It brought you through so that others might find their way home by your light. The mantle feels heavy at first, doesn't it? It carries the weight of compassion. It bears the burden of those still wandering. It's not just honor, it's holy responsibility. You have seen both the depths and the peaks, and that's why you can now guide others who tremble on the edge. The prophet Elijah once passed his cloak to Elisha. It was not a gift of fabric, but a transfer of purpose. You stand in that lineage, receiving not just survival, but succession. You are heaven's continuation on earth. The Apostle Paul writes in the second letter to the Corinthians, chapter 5, verse 20. Now then, we are ambassadors for Christ, as though God were making his appeal through us. We implore you on Christ's behalf, be reconciled to God. That is your mantle to heal, to speak freedom, to carry light into corners of despair. You have not been called to impress. You have been called to impact. You don't need to be perfect to lead, you just need to stay surrendered. Your scars have become your authority. Your brokenness has become your bridge. You are stepping into the role of a torchbearer. Imagine a single flame moving through a cave. It does not destroy the dark, it transforms it. That's what you carry now. You are not just illuminated, you are illumination itself. The world around you will begin to see differently because of the way you live, speak, and love. But remember, even a torch needs oil to burn. Your connection to heaven is that oil. Stay close to the source, rest when needed, listen when uncertain, and keep your heart open. Leadership in the kingdom is not about control. It's about flow. You are the riverbed, not the river. Let his spirit move through you freely. And as your light travels, understand this: every act of sharing spreads flame. Every word spoken in kindness, every testimony posted, every moment you choose to lift someone else is a spark that leaps into another soul. That's why. If these words stir something in you, if you feel that familiar resonance in your chest, share them. Not for fame, not for credit, but for connection. Somewhere, another chosen one is trapped in silence, waiting for a signal that they are not forgotten. Your simple act of clicking share might be the torch that lights their way. When you like this message, it isn't about numbers, it's about visibility. Light deserves to be seen. Every heart that engages helps the voice of heaven echo a little farther. Each reaction is like tossing another stone into still water, sending ripples where eyes may never see. And when you subscribe, you are choosing to remain part of this ongoing current of grace. These words are not random posts, they are living water poured into your spirit. Subscribing means staying near the well, ensuring that when heaven speaks again, you don't miss the next whisper meant for you. For those whose hearts feel especially moved, there's another sacred act giving. Not from pressure, but from purpose. When you give, think of it as adding oil to the flame. Each donation keeps the light burning longer, allowing these words to reach souls hidden in the night. It's not about amount, it's about alignment. A few drops of oil can keep a lamp glowing through the longest night. Your generosity becomes part of the miracle. You're not just receiving hope, you're sustaining it for others. Heaven sees that offering not as currency, but as compassion made tangible. You, chosen one, are no longer just a receiver of messages. You are now a messenger. The mantle means movement. It means that when others stumble, your story becomes their signal. Your resilience becomes their roadmap. The same God who pulled you from the pit now sends you back not to fall, but to lift. Carry your light boldly. The world may not always understand it, but those meant to see it will be drawn like travelers to a lighthouse. You don't need to chase them, just shine steadily, faithfully, consistently. And when this message finishes, take a moment to reflect. Comment below, let your words become a marker in the soil of this divine journey. When you write, you're not just responding to a post, you're testifying, joining the chorus of the chosen. Let your comment be your amen, your silent agreement that the mantle is real and that you will wear it well. You have been trained, tried, and trusted. You are not who you were when this began. The mantle is yours now, woven from endurance, threaded with mercy, and sealed by grace. Walk forward, chosen one, carry your flame into the world. And as you do, remember the light within you is not for you alone. It was always meant to lead others home. Victory is no longer a distant promise. Chosen one, it is unfolding before your eyes. The invisible has begun to take form. The whispers of prophecy are becoming tangible reality. What once existed only in prayer and patience is now standing in front of you, alive and undeniable. You can feel it in your spirit, something has shifted. The air carries the scent of fulfillment, the soft vibration of heaven's yes. You have crossed the battlefield, and the dust that once blinded you now settles behind. The wounds are still there, but they no longer bleed, they gleam like gold lines in broken pottery. The things that once hurt you have become proof of your endurance. Every scar tells a story of divine survival, of a soul that refused to quit when everything screamed to stop. This is the manifestation of victory, not the absence of struggle, but the transformation of it. The same ground that once held your tears now holds your testimony. What was meant to bury you has become the very soil from which your strength has bloomed. You no longer chase deliverance. You walk in it. You no longer ask if breakthrough will come. You realize it already has. The voice of God thundered in the book of Exodus, chapter 15, verse 2. The Lord is my strength and my song. He has become my salvation. He is my God, and I will praise him, my Father's God, and I will exalt him. Victory is not always loud. Sometimes it sounds like breathing without fear, sleeping without anxiety, waking without despair. Sometimes it looks like peace where there used to be panic. You may have expected celebration with trumpets, but heaven often announces triumph with stillness. You've entered that stillness now, the calm after conquest, the peace after persistence. What makes this victory different is that it's not about external gain, it's about internal transformation. You didn't just win against the storm, you won within it. You conquered the voices that said you couldn't. You silenced the doubts that told you you were forgotten. You stood when others scattered, and that endurance has rewritten your destiny. Everything that resisted you has now become raw material for glory. The rejection shaped resilience. The pain taught perspective. The delay carved discipline. Every obstacle that once frustrated you has now become a teacher. That's how God works. He recycles agony into anointing. Nothing was wasted. Look around with new eyes. What once looked empty now overflows with meaning. Relationships are being restored. Opportunities are reappearing. Ideas are blossoming. Yet these are not random blessings, they are confirmations. Each one whispers, "It's time." Victory is not a moment, it's a movement. It flows through you and from you. You are now a living expression of heaven's faithfulness. The same grace that rescued you is now radiating through you, touching those around you even when you're unaware. You've become the evidence of answered prayers, someone else's proof that God still delivers. This season carries a new rhythm. You don't have to strive to prove anything. The fruit of your faith speaks for itself. The peace that surrounds you now will confuse those who once pitied you. They will look at your calm and not understand it, because they cannot see the war you've already won. Chosen one, don't minimize what you've accomplished in the spirit. The battles you fought privately have changed landscapes publicly. Every quiet act of obedience has tilted the balance in your favor. You are not standing on luck, you are standing on legacy. The prayers of generations before you have met your faith, and together they have unlocked this moment. But victory also brings new vision. You'll begin to see farther now, beyond personal triumph, into purpose. The same grace that lifted you is calling you to lift others. You will recognize familiar pain in new faces and know exactly how to speak healing into it. Your testimony will become their instruction manual. That is how heaven multiplies victory. It turns survivors into saviors of others' hope. Take a moment to breathe. Feel the peace that now defines you. You no longer live in reaction to darkness. You live in revelation of light. Every part of your story, even the painful ones, fits perfectly into the mosaic of grace. There will still be challenges, but they won't carry the same weight. You have authority now, not arrogance. You speak from experience, not ego. You know that victory isn't about standing taller than others, it's about kneeling deeper in gratitude. This is your manifestation season. The unseen has become seen. What was once a whisper is now a declaration. You walk not as one uncertain, but as one fulfilled. The promises of God have taken root, and they are bearing fruit in every corner of your life. Chosen one, look around you. The battlefield has become a garden, and in its stillness, heaven smiles. The battle has ended. Chosen one. The war that once consumed your nights and haunted your days is quiet now. The ground beneath you, once trembling with conflict, feels still. You stand in the afterglow of victory, surrounded by peace that does not need to announce itself, it simply is. You've crossed through the fire, walked through the flood, and stood unbroken. And now, as heaven watches, A new light dawns on your horizon. The eternal echo begins here, not in noise, but in resonance. Every word you've spoken in faith, every tear shed in prayer, every breath offered in surrender, they are not gone. They have become sound waves in eternity, still moving, still multiplying. The heavens have recorded them, and now their echo returns not as lament, but as legacy. You have completed the circle of refinement. The process that began in darkness concludes in light. What started as pain has become prophecy fulfilled. The same places that once felt cursed now carry the fragrance of redemption. The ashes under your feet have turned to soil fertile with promise. This is not just survival, it is sanctification. It is written in the book of Revelation, chapter 21, verse 7. He that overcometh shall inherit all things, and I will be his God, and he shall be my son. You have overcome not through force, but through faith. You did not conquer by running faster. You conquered by standing longer. The inheritance before you is not gold or fame, it is peace, wisdom, and authority. Heaven calls you overcomer, not because you never fell, but because you always rose again. Now look around with eyes that see beyond the visible. Everything feels different, doesn't it? The colors of the world seem richer, the air lighter. It's because victory changes perception. The same sky that once felt oppressive now feels infinite. The same silence that once felt empty now hums with presence. You are not who you were when this began. Something eternal has awakened within you. This is the moment heaven crowns with meaning. The circle completes itself. You, once the seeker of light, have become its vessel. You no longer chase signs, they follow you. You no longer wait for confirmation, you are confirmation. The Spirit of God that once whispered in the distance now dwells fully within you, guiding every step, shaping every word. You may not feel the weight of this transformation yet, but the evidence will soon unfold. Peace will become your language. Clarity will follow your decisions. Where confusion once reigned, certainty will flow. You will move through life with quiet authority, not demanding attention, but commanding atmosphere. That is what happens when a soul has walked through war and emerged still praising. Every season of loss has prepared you for legacy. You understand now that victory is not about having everything, it's about becoming everything you were meant to be. You've been forged into a vessel that carries both tenderness and truth, both compassion and conviction. The duality of your journey, the softness and the strength, makes you the perfect reflection of divine balance. The eternal echo within you is not meant to fade. It will continue through your words, your kindness, your presence. Every conversation you have will carry undertones of heaven's voice. Every room you enter will feel the subtle vibration of peace following you in. You are living resonance now, the sound of heaven walking in human form. Chosen one, you've stepped into the rarest space of all contentment. Not the fleeting kind that depends on circumstance, but the kind rooted in trust. You know now that even if storms come again, they cannot erase what has been built inside you. The peace you carry is permanent because it's born of endurance. You've seen God in the fire and heard Him in the silence. You've walked through abandonment only to find belonging in the divine. You've wept, but your tears have become sacred ink, writing testimony where despair once wrote doubt. The eternal echo of your journey will outlast you. It will ripple through generations unseen. Some will look at your life and not understand how you endured. But those who listen deeply will feel the resonance, the subtle reminder that faith works, that love wins, that hope does not disappoint. You have become a living parable of perseverance, a story heaven tells to the weary. The war is over, but the mission continues. Peace does not mean idleness, it means readiness. You are now positioned for purpose beyond pain. The strength you found in suffering will sustain others through theirs. The light you discovered in darkness will become their guiding flame. Stand tall, crowned and calm. Let the world see what redemption looks like clothed in humanity. You are the proof that endurance births glory, that obedience births inheritance, that love never fails. The eternal echo of your journey will continue long after your words fade. It will live in the lives you touch, in the hope you inspire, in the prayers whispered by those you've never met. You are the echo now, the voice heaven leaves behind in the world. Walk with peace, speak with purpose, live with presence. The battle has ended, but the glory has just begun. And now, beloved chosen one, the story comes full circle. You've walked through every fire, crossed every shadowed valley, and stood beneath every storm, and still, you shine. What began as survival has become sacred purpose. You are not the same as when you started. Your heart beats in rhythm with heaven now. The journey was never random. Every section, every whisper of truth, every word you received has been a piece of divine architecture building you into who you were meant to be. The voice that once called you from the wilderness now sends you back into the world as light. You have become the message itself, a living sermon, written in resilience and sealed with grace. And as you reach the end of this divine chapter, take a breath and look at what you've become. You are proof that faith still works, that hope still heals, that obedience still opens doors. You are the miracle you once prayed for. If this message has stirred something deep within you, let it not end here. Share it like a spark passed from torch to torch. Let your click, your share, your simple act of engagement carry this light further into corners where hearts still tremble in silence. Like this message so it rises through the noise. Subscribe to stay near the flow of divine words as they continue to unfold. And in the comments, write what your spirit feels in this moment, your amen, your thank you, your quiet agreement with heaven. Because this isn't just the end of a story, it's the beginning of your next one. Carry the message forward. Chosen one. Let the world see what grace looks like when it walks in human form.